Ever wondered how much power lies in understanding the human mind? Welcome to the intriguing realm of dark psychology and manipulation, a clandestine world where the strings of human behavior are pulled and twisted. It's crucial to grasp these subtle techniques not as a guide for misuse, but as a shield to protect oneself. It's about acknowledging the hidden currents that steer our actions and reactions. So let's dive into the world of dark psychology and manipulation and emerge more enlightened and empowered. Starting with number 10, the well-known foot in the door technique. This is a clever compliance tactic that involves getting a person to agree to a substantial request by first setting them up with a minor one. It's akin to opening a door just a crack, then pushing it wide open. The initial agreement creates a bond, making it harder to refuse the bigger ask. It's a subtle yet powerful strategy to gain compliance. A simple yes can lead to much more, don't you think? Following closely at number 9, we have the door-in-the-face technique. Imagine someone asking you for a huge favor, so huge you're bound to refuse. Then they come back with a much smaller request. Suddenly that smaller favor seems reasonable, doesn't it? That's the door-in-the-face technique. It's a clever psychological strategy, manipulating our natural aversion to rejecting the same person twice. Intriguing, isn't it? It's hard to say no twice in a row, isn't it? At number 8, we introduce the infamous bait and switch. A classic maneuver in the world of manipulation, the bait and switch lures you in with a tantalizing offer only to reveal it's no longer available. But don't worry, they have another less appealing offer ready for you to take. It's like being promised a gourmet meal, then being offered a stale sandwich. It's a cunning trick, designed to confuse and dishearten. So remember, beware of deals that are too good to be true. Number 7 brings us to a particularly insidious trick, gaslighting. This is a form of psychological manipulation where a person, often subtly and over time, sows seeds of doubt in a targeted individual. The goal? To make them question their own memory, perception, or even sanity. Imagine a scenario where you're consistently told that your recollection of events is incorrect, that your feelings are overreactions, or that your concerns are baseless. Over time, this can lead to a warped sense of reality where you start doubting your own experiences and perceptions. The gaslighter might also manipulate the environment to reinforce these doubts. They might hide your belongings and then accuse you of being forgetful, or deny having said something that you distinctly remember them saying. This is all designed to make you question your own mind and memory. Remember, trust your instincts and your reality. At number 6, we have the guilt trip. This is a form of psychological manipulation where a person makes someone feel guilty to control or manipulate them. It's like a puppeteer pulling strings, but instead of wooden limbs, they're tugging at your emotions, your sense of duty, or your conscience. The guilt tripper might recount past favors, emphasize their disappointment, or even play the victim. Their goal? To make you feel responsible for their happiness or success. Guilt is a powerful emotion, but don't let it control you. Number 5 reveals a common social manipulation trick, FOMO. This trick, fear of missing out, is a psychological phenomenon that triggers an anxious sensation that you're being left out of a social event, a piece of information, or an opportunity. It's often used to manipulate people into making decisions they wouldn't ordinarily make, driven by the fear of regret or being excluded. But here's the reality. Most of the time, you're not actually missing out on much. Stay grounded. You're not missing out on as much as you think. Coming in at number 4, we have the halo effect. This fascinating cognitive bias can be a real game changer. Here's how it works. If we form a positive overall impression of someone, we automatically attribute other positive traits to them. Even if we haven't seen evidence of these traits, it's like putting a halo on someone and then seeing them as an angel. But remember, this bias can cloud our judgment. First impressions aren't everything. Number 3 on our list is the bandwagon effect. This is a fascinating psychological phenomenon where people are more likely to do something primarily because others are doing it. It's all about social conformity, folks. If everyone else is jumping on the bandwagon, it's easy to think that you should too. But remember, just because something is popular doesn't mean it's right or beneficial for you. Always use your judgment and don't be swayed by the masses. Think for yourself, don't just follow the crowd. At number 2, we have the scarcity principle. This psychological bias makes us place a higher value on things that are scarce. It's like a game of musical chairs, where the fewer chairs there are, the more valuable they become. It's not just about physical goods either. Time, information, and opportunities can all be subject to this principle. When they're scarce, we want them more, we chase them harder. It's a fascinating quirk of our psychology. But remember, sometimes less is not more. And finally, at number 1, the authority principle. This principle is a psychological bias that sways us to comply with those in positions of authority. It's a fascinating phenomenon woven into the fabric of our social structure. From an early age, we're taught to respect and obey figures of authority, parents, teachers, police officers, and so on. This respect for authority is often exploited, consciously or unconsciously. It's why we're more likely to trust a person in a white lab coat or someone who appears to hold a high-ranking position. The authority principle can be a tool of persuasion, manipulating our inherent deference to power. It's used in marketing, politics, and even interpersonal relationships. However, it's crucial to remember that authority doesn't always equal expertise or ethical correctness. It's essential to practice discernment and critical thinking. Don't let the authority principle manipulate you into blind obedience. Question authority, don't blindly follow. From the foot in the door to the authority principle, the human mind is fascinatingly complex, isn't it? We've journeyed through 10 potent tricks, each a testament to the mind's intricate workings. These tools can be used to gain influence, but let's remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Let's use this understanding to promote empathy, not manipulation. Armed with this knowledge, navigate your world with more awareness, power, and influence. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, stay sharp.